You are now listening to an exclusive interview on Sounds of Success with Noah Swiderski.
Welcome back to Sounds of Success, where we dive into the stories of visionary entrepreneurs who are shaking up their industries. I'm your host, Noah Swiderski, and today we have a delightful guest with us, Krista Mellina, the creative mind behind the Twisted Mallow company with a unique twist on a classic treat. Krista has turned her passion for marshmallows into a thriving business that's all about connection, creativity, and unforgettable flavors. Get ready to be inspired as we explore her journey from dental hygienist to mallow maker extraordinaire. It's a pleasure to have you, Krista.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And really, to start off, the origin story, tell me all about it. What inspired you to transition from being a dental hygienist to starting the Twisted Mallow company?
It all really started as a joke. I've been a hygienist for 33 years, and I have been looking for my way out, I guess, to, sort of my exit plan. And I had been away with my daughter. And when I got back, probably had a stressful transition week back into work. My best friend was visiting from out of town, and we were having lunch and some cocktails. And I just sort of blurted out to her, that's it. I'm out. I'm going to start a company, and it's going to be a food truck, and it's going to be s'mores. And we laughed and laughed and ha ha ha. But on my way home, I thought, I wonder how hard it is to make marshmallow. And that week I looked up a very simple vanilla marshmallow flavor, made it, brought it to work because dental people do love their sugar. Don't tell anyone. And everyone loved them. And then I'm very creative. So I started thinking of all these kind of wild flavors, and got in my kitchen and saw if they worked, and they worked, and just people loved them. And my mom had suggested setting up at a farmer's market. So I applied to the Concord Farmer's Market for the winter, and I launched. My first day was November 2nd. And by I was only signed up for 8 markets to the end of December. And by the second week of selling out, I asked the president, do you have room for me for the whole season? And she did. So
can you share maybe some of the favorite unique marshmallow flavors and kind of what inspired those combinations?
Well, after vanilla, I did a simple chocolate. Then I started thinking about caramel. So I made a caramel sauce that became one of my really popular ones, the dulce de leche lemon lavender. I have a mango chili lime. I have key lime, cranberry. Some of the flavors were inspired by people at the farmer's market asking for certain flavors, and I hadn't even thought of, but I said, I bet you I could do it. And I did. And cinnamon, a coffee, a Mexican chocolate, all kinds. Yeah, I just keep introducing new flavors each week as they come up. And
that's amazing. I got to try the Mexican chocolate one. I feel like I would be all over that. But so I love the name. How did you come up with the Twisted Mallow company? Like, I know you, for a lot of your business, it was kind of based off feedback. You kind of tested it out. People loved it. Is that how that name came about, or what's the story behind the name?
The name, so Mallow is a short word for marshmallow. Kind of goes back to high school when I was in 9th grade. My biology teacher was doing roll call on the first day of class, and he couldn't say my maiden name is Mallowan. He couldn't say it. So he said, well, you're Miss Mallow now. And then it sort of stuck with some of my friends. And then Twisted was just because I think most people think of marshmallows as your jet puffed vanilla marshmallow. I sort of was putting a twisted little niche to this, creating all these different flavors. And I tested that name out, and it just kind of stuck. And
it's funny how things happen that way. So being a business owner myself, I know everyone has their own unique journey. What did that look like for you? What are some of the struggles you kind of faced when you first started? And I guess, what are some of the ones you still kind of face?
I guess the first was just, how would my product be received? The first market that I did, I was nervous that I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough samples, or, would people even stop by or be curious? I think we all have that tendency to have that imposter syndrome where we just say we're not. I haven't been doing this as long as everyone else here who has all these wonderful products, and they're so much more creative or whatnot. It's really been a process and a journey of discovery, of letting go, and very grateful for the experience. I'm very humbled by it. And I'm still literally launched 7 months ago. It's all a learning process, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Especially within kind of your industry, what are some of the things that make you so different from other marshmallow brands or maybe sweet treat brands?
Everything that I make is gluten-free, including the graham crackers that I make. Everything is non-GMO. My claim to fame is most marshmallow makers are using corn syrup. I'm using agave. Anything that has color in it, it's because, like a strawberry, for example, I make a strawberry puree and I mix that in, and that becomes part of it. I make a mimosa where the orange layer is from fresh squeezed orange juice. So I try to keep it as natural and healthy as a marshmallow possibly could be. I was that mom with my kids. I would make a chocolate pudding and let my kids have it for breakfast. And I'm sure I got eye rolls from other moms when my kids say, like, we had chocolate pudding for breakfast, but it was made out of avocado. I'm not going to feed it to my kids. I'm not feeding it to anyone else.
Truly treating the community like they're one of your own. How important is customer feedback in your product development process? Say you come out with a new flavor or new product, how important is listening to the community kind of during that developmental phase?
Oh, it's everything. It really is. And you say community, and that's exactly what it is. I have customers that have been following me from the beginning, and they're suggesting flavors, and I want to create that for them if I can. And it's been a successful way to deal with business. I want the feedback. I want the good, the bad, the ugly, because it's only going to make me better, and it's going to make me grow in a very positive way and keep the integrity of my product.
7 months into this, is there anything that comes to mind in the next few years, or maybe some exciting plans on the horizon?
I just did the Made in New Hampshire Expo, that was really huge because I only had 2 months to prepare, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the energy. Both my daughters came and worked with me, and that was awesome. Unbelievably awesome. I will be doing in October the Chocolate Expo in Manchester as well. So I think more of those bigger venues. I'm also looking to get into events where maybe baby showers or bridal showers or family events where I will set up a s'mores bar for the guests. And that's kind of exciting as well.
That's so fun. It sounds like you're taking advantage of a lot of these cool events that gets your name out there even more. As someone who values connection, how do you incorporate personal experiences or maybe stories that you have into your brand, like into your company?
I do have a lot of people that will come up and say, "Oh, they'll think that they're soap actually first." And I'll say something like, "Well, you would need to take, if you're going to throw this into your bath, you're going to need to take another bath." People that say that they're not marshmallow fans, I love saying, "Well, I've converted a lot of non-marshmallow people." And 9 out of 10 times if they try it, they actually like it. They realize how different it is. I do think people like the story of the hygienist, and I'm pushing sugar, and haha, I should hand out business cards or whatnot. But I think just that story sort of keeps it light and fun.
And someone that turned her passion into a business, maybe there's 100 million aspiring entrepreneurs out there that want to do the same thing. What advice would you give them?
I don't think anything is too out of the question. And if you can dream it, you can do it. And with the vision and a little planning, I don't think anything's impossible. I'm really sort of glad this has all come up because I love that my daughters are seeing that I can reinvent myself and that the world is open to them to do the same thing. And I actually have had quite a few women who are very crafty in one way or another ask me how I started. And I'll give my card. I'm like, please, let's talk. Like, I would love to support other women in business, and I don't have all the answers. I'm not a natural business person. I'm learning as I go, but it's so exciting to see that spark in someone's eye that they could do it too.
Is there a flavor that comes to mind you want to work on and on getting into your company and being able to provide the community? Is there something cool or maybe unique that you've been thinking about making?
I do make some boozy ones, and the alcohol actually burns out. So there's no alcohol in it, but the flavor is really intense and fun. And I'm starting to think of different martinis that might benefit from like the little topping of maybe a little bruleed marshmallow on top. Or I made one for March, which was called Mud Season, which had 2 different marshmallow flavors and a gluten-free chocolate graham cracker that I made that was kind of crumbled in there. And so I'd like to do more layers and more like bars and that sort of thing, other than just marshmallows that you might toast or throw in your coffee.